Hi, and welcome to Quilting with Lori. My name is Lori Dickman, and today we are going to be working on another scrappy block. In fact, I have a PDF of the quilt block and the quilt itself in the description box below, so you can grab that PDF and it will give you the information that you need to make this beautiful scrappy block. This one requires no half square triangles. We are going to use our scraps. It's called the Magic Circle block, and I'm going to share with you here in just a second what you need to pull from your stash to be able to make this beautiful block and quilt. So this is the PDF. You'll find this in the description box, and it offers two different quilts that you can do here. One has the sashing and one does not. I'm going to make mine without the sashing, and this is the block that we're creating. And basically we're snowballing squares to create those beautiful points that you see within that block. And if you've not snowballed squares before, I'll show you how that's done. But here's what you're going to want to grab. You're going to need to grab your 1.5 inch container of squares, your 3.5 inch container of squares. You're going to want to grab your 6.5 inch container of squares and your 3.5 inch container of strips. And that's what I have used to make this entire block. All right, I brought you to my tabletop. This is our pattern. This is one of the blocks that I have made. Here is another block that I have made, and I'm obviously just using scraps from my stash. So these are my 6.5 inch center squares. They make the center of the block, and I have chosen some whites for all of my centers. And so that I've just grabbed from my stash container. I went into my 1.5 inch bin and I found a bunch of these dark soldier blue 1.5 inch squares. So I'm using those to snowball all of my squares here. You might want to use black or navy blue or white or whatever you choose to use, but that's what I'm using. And I've already cut out and organized my different blocks. So this particular block is going to have some 3.5 by 6.5 inch strips that I've subcut. This one was blue. This one's going to be green. And then my corners for this block are going to be blue, whereas they were green in this block. And these are 3.5 inch squares. So 3.5 inch squares, and these are 3.5 by 6.5 inch strips. And I simply subcut those from 3.5 inch strips. And then, of course, we need 8 of these little 1.5 inch squares. That will make a block. Same thing here. I've got 3.5 by 6.5. I have 4 of those. I have 4 of my 3.5 inch squares, and I have 8 of my 1.5 inch squares. So each of these will make one entire block. Now along with the white centers, so we do need the white centers as well, but this is what we're going to use to put our blocks together. All right, before you here, I have laid out a block. So I have, because I've used the strips, the 3.5 inch strips, all 4 of my sides match. And then in my scraps container, I was able to find 4 squares that matched. In many cases they did. For this one, they didn't exactly match, but they're of the same hue and the same value, so they work perfectly. You can make yours very scrappy. You don't have to make sure that all of these are the same color or that these are the same color. You can make it completely scrappy if you choose to. It's a great way to use up your scrap stash, but I'm doing more of a controlled scrappy but in each block here. So what I've done, you'll see I've laid out these 1.5 inch squares in the corners of all 4 corners in that center 6.5 inch square, because we're going to snowball all 4 corners. For these outer squares here, we are only going to snowball 1 corner. So I'm laying these right up in that corner there. I guess I have too many. So what we're going to do is snowball these corners here and then all 4 in the center. When you snowball, basically what you're doing is you can draw a line from corner to corner, and for snowballing, you stitch right on that line or right to the outside of it, so that allows for the turn of fabric. You're going to trim away this excess here in a minute, and then you're going to flip it open, and that will create that nice point on the edge of that square. You'll do the same here. You'll come around and stitch and stitch and stitch, and then you'll cut away the excess and press it to the outside. Same thing on these squares here. You're going to stitch across the diagonal, stitch across the diagonal, stitch across the diagonal, and stitch across the diagonal there. And then again, you will cut away the excess and press it. So let me get these stitched and I'll bring them back and show you what that looks like and how that works. All right, so I have finished snowballing the center square, and I just start at one side and just keep on going, allowing myself a little space there to get to the next side. I don't cut threads, and then I went ahead and did a chain stitching with the snowballs on these smaller squares, as you can see. Now I'm just going to snip them apart. Get rid of that excess, and you can. If I were to cut threads between all of these, I'd be wasting thread anyway, so I just figured I'd go ahead and do a chain stitch. Now, what you want to do for each one of these little snowballed squares, move this aside here, you want to trim away the excess. Grab a little ruler. As you can see, I've stitched from corner to corner all the way across there. I'm going to leave a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. We need that 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and get rid of this. These little pieces you could use as pillow stuffing if you choose to. That way it doesn't have to go in the trash. All right, there's that. These are all ready, and I like to just finger press right now, and I will take everything to the iron here in a minute and press it. All right, now let's do the same on the larger square. So these were all 1.5 inch squares that we used to snowball the 3.5 inch squares and the 6.5 inch square. I'm just getting rid of the excess, leaving a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. There we go. And then we're going to finger press before we take it over and press it. And I'm just going to show you how this is going to go together. So the first thing you'll do is you'll sew these two sides to this center block, and then you're going to sew this bottom row here, making sure you've got your points facing the same side of the rectangle. So they'll get sewn together there. And these will get sewn together here to this rectangle. And then you'll have this row, the center row, and this row to sew together. Basically, it will end up being a 9 patch that you're putting together. Very, very simple. I'm going to go press everything. I'll stitch those 3 rows together and bring it back and show that to you. I have the 3 rows ready to go. So this one is sewn with its 2 rectangles, and these 2 are sewn against the rectangle here with the squares on the end, making sure that the snowball points are facing this direction, and on this side the snowball points are facing that direction. And now I can sew the unit together as a 9 patch, if you will, and we are ready to go. The block is done. I think I can get this block done in less than 5 minutes. It is a fast quilt to make. I have finished this one here that I had just started here and showed you how I put those 3 rows together. I've just gathered another one, and as you can see, I like to chain stitch the whole thing. I start at this side right here, stitched, 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 and then I just continued on around. And now I can use something to cut them apart. Then I'm going to use my ruler and trim away so that I just have a 1/4 of an inch of the seam allowance. Then I will finger press, and then I will take it to the iron and actually press it. I'm going to go ahead and make a few more and have them ready. I'd like to have a total of 9 here. I'm not sure if I'll get all of those done here today or not, but I wanted to make sure that you got to see what some of this is going to look like. Here is another one that I'm going to put together, 3 rows of 3 units, so it's basically a 9 patch. Make sure when you're sewing it that you're making sure your points are being sewn together to create that beautiful circular look, which is why it's called the Magic Circle Quilt block. All right, I have 4 blocks finished, as you can see here. And they're going to go together beautifully. I'm not going to use the sashing, but I do have the information in here. If you do want to use sashing in the cornerstones, you'll be adding the same. In my case, I would have added these dark soldier blue cornerstones in the sashing as well. And all of the information is in there for you if you choose to do that. But I'm going to make mine just like this, where it's simply the blocks. And in my case, I've pulled 6.5-inch white squares. In my case, I've used 3.5-inch strips, and I've subcut them so that I could actually get 4 that were similar or the same fabric. And then I went through my 3.5-inch squares, and I grabbed some squares that either were similar or were the same to use for every single block. And that helps for those of you who don't like the real scrappy look. This is going to give you a little bit more controlled scrappy. And of course, this would be an absolutely beautiful quilt if you were simply going to use yardage. You could use a dark fabric, medium to dark fabric for the rectangles. You could use a white in the center. Maybe you could use black for these points, and maybe some kind of a medium to a light medium fabric for these squares. That could be the entire colorway for the whole quilt. And that would also be gorgeous. But you know me, I have a scrap stash that I intend to get used up. And so whatever I'm making a quilt, I do go to my stash and pull what I can when I can from my stash. So I have sewn it together and pressed everything. I tried to press everything away from the white centers. Each block should square up to 12.5 inches before you sew it together, and it will finish in the quilt at 12 inches. These beautiful big white centers, or light centers, depending on what you're using, is going to allow you to do a beautiful motif as you're quilting in the center here of all of these. And I'm anxious to be able to accomplish that. And then these are light enough too that a pretty motif will show up. And the larger you have this, you'll have opportunities to do some fun quilting in all of those spots. So I'm anxious to get to that point. I do really love the quilt. It turned out so well, and it is such a fast quilt to make. You know, for those of you who may not have your scrap stash put together yet, if it's not cut, sorted, organized, and ready to use to make beautiful scrappy quilts, I hope that you'll check out my video, which it's a tutorial that walks you step by step through my Speedy Solutions techniques. I do have a corresponding book as well as a patterns book. These are my Speedy Solutions techniques pattern and techniques book. And I'll have that linked below in the description box. But I'll also have that video so you can watch that video. I think it will really help you to understand how to get your stash ready to go so that you can actually make some beautiful quilts, such as this one that we've done today, the Magic Circle quilt. And here is a finished 4 blocks that I've got. I wanted to get 9, but I don't quite have it yet. I'll have to continue working on it. The quilt behind me is a mystery quilt that I had done a few years ago, and I do have it. It's a free pattern out on my website. So go to quiltingwithlori.com, go to the mystery quilt tab, and you can identify exactly how to make this quilt. And again, we're using scraps from my stash. I used a lot of creams and florals and used all of that up. So it's a wonderful pattern, very simple pattern. So I hope you'll check that out. It might be something that you'd like to make for this spring. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today and watching this tutorial on the Magic Circle quilt. Don't forget to grab the PDF. It's a free PDF in the description box below. For those of you who are watching this on your TV, maybe you're not able to access the description box below. If that's the case, let me know. Just contact me through my website and I'll send you this PDF so that you've got that. But until next week, I hope that you'll enjoy making this block and this quilt. And until then, happy quilting.